Good Monday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We got some big things here. Also a personal update from me. We got some things to talk about. We got mysterious drones probing U.S. defenses over a nuclear weapons storage facility over in Europe. The drones apparently immune to jamming. It's very intentional. We got President Trump about to meet with ISIS in the White House. Don't know how I feel about that. And the U.S. forces taking out another boat in the Caribbean. President Trump also reaffirming his plans to potentially invade the most populous nation in Africa, which is still confusing a lot of us. And an explanation over the big layoffs happening and what it might mean for you. Also big changes for Obamacare. As the subsidies have expired, the enrollment window has opened, and a lot of you guys are seeing numbers that are pretty scary. And like I said, a big personal update for me and a personal prayer request for me. It's getting a little hairy over here, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Well, welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That does get it to the right place. Thanks so much for being part of the Watchmen community. We also do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts. If you have an IRA, 401k, and you want to get into something safer like physical precious metals like gold, silver, or platinum, coins or bars that you can hold in your own hand. These have your own serial numbers on them. We're not talking about promises here. There'll be a link at the end of the video if you want to find out more. All right, Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa is scheduled to visit Washington, D.C. on November 10th. So it's coming up fast. He will meet with President Trump at the White House. And what they won't tell you is that he was a member of al-Qaeda. He arguably still is a member of al-Qaeda. Yes, that al-Qaeda. He was a member of ISIS. Yes, that ISIS. In fact, in case you're just like, oh, well, he was just kind of a card carrying. No, he actually fought against U.S. forces in Iraq. He was part of teams that were actually shooting at U.S. soldiers. And President Trump is going to meet him in the White House. This is going to be the first ever meeting between at the White House of a Syrian president. This is the third meeting between President Trump and al-Sharaa. Now, yeah, I mean, it's one of those difficult things, right? On one hand, you look at this guy's past, and he was actually waging war against U.S. soldiers. On the other hand, he is now the president of Syria. And if we can get Syria to kind of swing towards the United States and our ally bloc, that seems like something worth doing. But it's a tough one. I mean, peace and negotiation, sometimes you have to be friendly with the devil. And in this case, that's quite literally true. All right, President Trump was asked by the media to clarify his comments about invading Nigeria. Just a reminder, Nigeria is a pretty stinking big country. They have 232 million people right now, and it's fast growing. They have a lot of people in the country. It's not quite as populous as the United States, but it's close, okay? It's close. Once we get rid of all the people that aren't supposed to be in the United States, it's even closer. Anyway, President Trump said that there could be American troops on the ground as well as airstrikes involved with the operations in Nigeria. I'll just leave that one there. All right, that is to end the genocide of Christians, but on the other hand, it is also invading a country in Africa. All right, for the second time this weekend, this isn't the first, the second time this weekend, 3 large unidentified drones, so not like your little normal everyday drones, were spotted last night over the Klein-Brogel Air Base in Belgium, which houses U.S. F-16s with the 10th Tactical Wing and B-61 nuclear bombs maintained by the U.S. Air Force. Belgian Air Force also has aircraft on the base, of course. According to the Belgian Defense Ministry, the drones flew in a way that clearly suggested that they were targeting Klein-Brogel. A drone jammer was deployed but failed to disrupt the drones, suggesting that the drones were either fiber optic or they were pre-programmed. While police and helicopters tracked the drones for a while, but then lost them several kilometers from Klein-Brogel. So no idea what these drones were doing, but possibly mapping out the facilities in a way that satellites can't, which is disconcerting, and also probing the anti-drone defenses of the base. Remember how we basically, how the Ukrainians took out a whole bunch of the Russian Air Force? If you think Russia's not planning on doing the exact same thing to the United States and our allies, I don't know. For the past few years, companies across the United States have scrambled to rebuild their workforces. And they learned the simple lesson the hard way, which is keep the workers that you've got, because if you lose them, you'll have a hard time getting them back. But in recent months, the job market has softened, and making it apparently a safer environment for companies to start streamlining their workforces. A host of them have jumped on this, announcing tens of thousands of layoffs in recent weeks. So if you're kind of wondering why suddenly there's a bunch of layoffs, apparently these companies feel like they can replace their workers. And because of that, they feel like they can cut down more and just rehire people if they need them. So that is definitely showing that the economy is slowing down. And of course, them laying off workers means that workers are buying less stuff, which means those companies are going to have to lay off more workers. It's a cycle that called a recession or a depression if it gets worse. The United States has carried out another strike on a narco vessel in the Caribbean. The Department of War said that it carried out a lethal kinetic strike. We did an airstrike on a boat. Secretary of War Hegseth said four male narco-terrorists perished on the vessel. The United States saying that they will reboot military channels with China after President Xi and President Trump met. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth also said that this is to deconflict and de-escalate situations. So having a high-level military-to-military connections allows the military members to communicate with each other. If two aircraft are flying too close to each other, the generals can basically call each other and tell them what's going on and try to make it not be an issue. Hegseth also said we have more meetings on the way coming soon. So did not elaborate on that any further. Like I said, a personal update from me and such will be at the end of the video here. 11 Kitties says, Western New York, I was in BJ's yesterday and noticed many of the shelves were obviously not stocked with primarily food. I usually buy a quarter ham for sandwiches, but none were available. Eggs were very low and no Nestle dark chocolate chips for over a month. Not sure if the low stocked shelves are because of the supply chain or SNAP chaos or both. Mo's Prepatech and Tech says, Southeastern Michigan, I love my breakfast bowls, and it seems like Aldi and Walmart, the great value brands, so the generic brands, are no longer being sold. Just the more expensive Jimmy Dean brand. Tina says, my insurance premiums were covered mostly under the subsidy. I have zero income and am disabled. And this is something that's coming up for a bunch of you guys as you go to renew your or re-enroll in your health care. The only assistance that I received were the subsidies on my insurance. I have had to pay $30 a month, and now next year it is rising to $800 a month with less coverage. I desperately need insurance, but now I can't afford it. So basically they built in subsidies to get over the first little bit until the system was going to be working. But the system has never worked, and it's just gotten worse along the way. And so those healthcare subsidies are gone, and now people are seeing what the real price of socialized medicine is. Single payer government medicine. Cape Fear says, Southeast North Carolina, we're out and about today. So far, so good. This was Saturday. Walmart was breathing. People are buying, although North Carolina benefits are staggered. It comes out the 3rd through the 21st, so no one was missing their food stamps yet. Monday may be a different story. I hope not, but prepare. Minkus Messages says Walmart in Coventry, Rhode Island today, once again Saturday, fairly normal, but increased staff and security noted. Paul says in Iowa, the Dollar General stores have closed for remodeling. Closed 4 to 5 days. I have noticed a lot of banks and businesses have also closed temporarily. So all these stores remodeling suddenly, just like this is not a good weekend to be open, right? Let us know what you guys experienced this weekend. Are you seeing continued issues at the stores? Make sure you use the word update in your comments to let us know what you're seeing out there. TN, or Tennessee Mountain Girl, says, for the last month, I've noticed that Walmart has taken off the tags to their clothing where the price was down at the bottom, or removing them altogether. They're also not putting up the prices on the hooks that the garments go on or the racks. The lady told me if they want you to go online to see what the price is. It's price gouging. It's price gouging fever, that's what they say. Susan says, I live in Southwest Oklahoma. Walmart was open, not a lot of customers. I went and spoke with an employee, and she said Walmart is starting to round the pennies to cash, to 5 cents in the cash, but not rounding with the cards. They are also ready and waiting for the SNAP riots and theft. I didn't see any issues with people stealing. Halloween candy, however, was only 25% off this year. Some shelves were low and or empty of ramen noodles and mac and cheese. I went to Aldi's and the shelves were bare, especially the bread. They have more people at Walmart. Grandma says, my daughter works at Safeway in Oregon and was told because of no SNAP benefits, all the employees would have their hours cut. 12% of the, 15% of the spending on groceries in the U.S. is SNAP spending. 12% of the customers in the store are using SNAP benefits. This daughter only gets 16 to 20 hours a week as it is, and hearing that they're going to have their hours cut. This, I believe, will happen to more stores across the country. Yeah, if it keeps going on, yeah, SNAP benefits, sure. Umbra Shadow Gaming says, we went to the store today. It was quiet. I'm not surprised. We live in more of a farming community. However, Phoenix isn't that far away either. If anything, we also did a grocery pickup, and the grocery pickup was delayed a bit. Nana says, I live in Eastern Oregon and have to reapply for SNAP every year. Also, there are those who have come across into the U.S. that get SNAP and work under a different name, so they have their name, and then they work under a different name, and they get SNAP for both. There has to be a better way to do this. Went to Walmart today, more security, but I didn't feel threatened at all. Homestead Nurse says, we had to go to Publix in East Alabama today in order to pick up a prescription. There was the usual Saturday crowd, nothing unusual there. The shelves were stocked. The coffee was off the charts expensive, though, roughly $15 for a 12-ounce bag of beans. That's a big negative. I stocked up on coffee, and we are still drinking from the 2023 batch. I had vacuum sealed each bag on top of the factory seal. Just a tip, we leave the old grounds in the basket and add half as much fresh coffee for the second pot in order to stretch it out. It works and we don't really notice the difference. I'm a big proponent of that. I absolutely do that all the time. If I'm using my French press and I put the coffee grounds in there and I want another batch, I just put some more fresh coffee grounds on top of the existing ones, and you get some more out of those coffee grounds the second time around. But you need some fresh stuff in there too, or else it comes out really weak. All right, Bella, Central Kentucky. I went to our local meat market and bought 2 ham hocks. They weighed about 5 pounds each and were huge. They cost $10 each. I cooked one today with lentils and have to say, one, that the meat I took off it was outstanding and could easily have fed the 3 of us with potatoes and veggies for a Sunday dinner. They were beautifully trimmed out, secondly, so I wasn't buying a huge roll of fat that I would have to throw out. Don't overlook the cheaper cuts of animals because they are just as delicious as buying a cut of ham. This ham could be used to make ham sandwiches or ham salad, and no one would know the difference. Just an idea for those struggling. Once again, that's ham hocks. If they don't have them at the grocery store, you can check with a farmer. Good luck, everyone. All right, so personal news update. First thing, we're about to get slammed with this typhoon. So it started raining out there already, and it's rolling in Typhoon Tino, which is basically just a hurricane here in the Pacific. So I'm in the Philippines, and it's coming right at us, and we're going to get hit by this thing. So is that a terrible thing? I think we're pretty good set up here, but I'm getting married for you guys tonight. So the typhoon hurricane is hitting us just as we need to travel out to go to a local magistrate to get married. I have my family visiting with me here, so it's great to have them here, but not a great time for a typhoon. So please be praying for the people here in the Philippines that are getting slammed with this typhoon. Secondly, and much less importantly, pray that things work out with the wedding, that we can actually get out to the magistrate. We're having a little civil wedding tonight for you guys, and then we're going to have a big wedding, which you guys will see some videos of later this week. We'll have that wedding, and then videos will come out probably next week, maybe, I don't know. But we want to share those with you guys. But yeah, this guy's getting married if the weather cooperates. Power could be out for a couple days, and having my family from out of town, out of country, here is a little bit, makes it a little bit more complicated. And we haven't gotten fully set up here yet in the apartment. So as you can see, I haven't set up a studio yet, which I will do shortly, hopefully, to get the flags up and be able to start recording in a little more proper of a setting. All right, friends, that's the update. So appreciate your prayers for the weather, for our wedding. Next morning update, when you see that, I'll be officially married. So anyway, let me know what you guys think and updates that you have about what's going on at the stores and everything like that. If some of you guys have asked about like how do you send like if you want to send something for a wedding gift or whatever, I'll put in the pinned comment down below. I'll put the link. It's called it's like a coffee, which it's based off that whole buy somebody a coffee, but Ko-fi is what it's called. It doesn't take a lot of the fees out that like donating on YouTube does or other platforms. So they take out very, very small amounts of that. So that's why I use that platform. But if you'd like to send us a wedding gift, that would be much appreciated, super appreciated. We're getting set up here and making some big life adjustments, but with the sale of the house and everything like that. But don't feel obligated to do that whatsoever. But my mailing address has disappeared off of the things because I had to close down that post office box. I got the last stuff that you guys sent. Some of you guys sent some cards and some gifts Like I told you guys, I got those. But thanks so much for being part of the Watchmen community. And I'm going to ride out this typhoon, and maybe we'll have some comments about that in the coming days. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, there's a link right there. If you want to send a wedding gift, present, down the pinned comment down below, thank you so much. But again, don't feel obligated to do that. And if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.